So this is the Nike Zoom Field Jaxx Travis Scott Leche Blue. I picked this pair up on sale actually, which I was surprised about. Maybe it was like a restock or people returning their pairs, but you know, I picked this pair up for £100 in the UK, so on sale. So yeah, for me, I think, you know, it was a bit of a bargain. And then also, you know, I was interested in getting these sneakers, but not enough to sort of pay resale on them. So I just wanted to check them out because I've been into the Spiridon model in general. And you know, these came out I think back maybe in sort of March, April time of this year. And the colourway is saying Leche Blue and Baroque Brown, which I think is a cool colour scheme. And then you've got kind of the sort of sail, almost sort of off-white kind of hits on the sneaker as well. You can see on the overlay panels. And obviously this being a sneaker by Travis Scott, it's got the kind of classic sort of Travis Scott hits on it. You know, you got the sicko mode face on the back with the Nike swoosh on it. And then also you got like a little backwards swoosh on there. And it's kind of a mishmash of two sneakers, if you will. This is kind of one of the, I guess, kind of unique silhouettes from Travis Scott, similar to, you know, other ones that he's done, like the Air Max one and the Trainer one. And with this one, you know, it's got a mix of two different models, which I think is called the Nike Shark, which was like a field based sort of shoe that you could kind of use for, I guess, trail or you know, those kind of sort of football kind of sports. So it had kind of those kind of traction on it. And same for the Zoom Spiridon, where it's more of a sort of runner sneaker, and that's what the bottom is inspired by. So, you know, the outsole as well has kind of got the Zoom technology in there as well, which is really cool. So, you know, overall, like I said, it's a Travis Scott kind of custom sneaker, and then you've got the strap on the top, which is obviously more for sort of trainer-like type, you know, I guess, exercises, so which is a cool thing. And this does have, I think, as far as I remember, it was a Phylon midsole in there as well, which is like I guess an EVA type of foam that Nike uses. And because it's got the Air Zoom unit sitting at the bottom as well, it provides that sort of overall responsiveness and cushioning. But it feels quite sort of nice on foot as well, quite sort of, like I said, pushes, you know, lift off your foot, which is really nice feeling, I suppose, because you normally don't get that with other Nike trainers so much, especially like these older ones with this sort of older type tech like you get in the Spiridons. And then also if you look at the outsole as well, it's got quite a lot of grip on there as well, which is different than norm. And with the comfort, I think these are actually really nice in my opinion. I actually like the way they feel on foot. They're very similar to the Spiridons, like I said, pretty much the same as the Spiridon. Overall, you know, I find they're responsive, quite sort of cushiony and easy, and quite sort of neutral on foot as well. And like I said, responsive, which is kind of what you need. But you still feel sort of stable in them. And then you got the strap on top. I found the sneaker itself, I had to go up half size in these just because I tend to have a wide foot, and even then I get a little bit of pinky toe issues here, and it's mainly because of this strap, and I've kind of loosened it a bit, as you can see, which has helped. And I've kind of loose laced the laces as well, and that also helps. But I do recommend sort of going up half size if you have a wide foot. And then overall, you know, in terms of materials, it's quite sort of soft and suede material, so it has a bit of flex to it. It's just the strap on top that is kind of, I suppose, a bit kind of I guess restrictive, you know, not so much, but it can be, like, it's just an extra layer that it probably doesn't need, but the aesthetically it does look cool. And then, like I said earlier, the outsole, it's got that kind of field trail shoe kind of vibe to it. It's thicker than what you'd get on a normal Spiridon model, so I kind of like that at the same time. If the upper was, I guess, more hard wearing or wasn't made of this suede material, these would be perfect for the winter time. But for, you know, for that reason, I don't know if I'd wear them in the winter time unless you've got kind of some sort of spray to put on top of them. So with the look and style, I mean, these are kind of, I suppose, slightly falling under the radar. I guess the Travis hype is kind of dying a little bit, but also I suppose, you know, this particular sneaker is a bit Marmite, like a lot of Travis Scott stuff can be, especially the sneakers that he tends to have sort of unique designs to, and a lot of people don't really gravitate to them too much, and they kind of go for more of the classic collabs, such as the Jordan 1 or the Jordan 4, etc. But, you know, it's still a cool looking sneaker. I don't think it's like up there with obviously the best of the Travis Scott sneakers, but, you know, when I put them on foot, they do look a lot nicer on foot. It's the same as a sort of any sort of Spiridon model. I think what lets it down is like the back of the sneaker, just the Spiridon in general. The midsole kind of wraps up, you know, over, and it makes it look a bit sort of chunkier than it should be, I guess. And like I said, once you have them on feet, they do look cool. It's just the off feet look. It's just a little bit kind of, you know, kind of a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about these. And like I said, if they had sort of more hard wearing materials, you could definitely wear these autumn winter because of the outsole being quite sort of rugged and thick. So in terms of the ratings, I think for this one I'd probably go with a 4. I think it kind of just misses the mark in my opinion compared to other sneakers that I've released this year. It's still a cool looking sneaker, but you know, if you're paying, you know, over the odds for these over resale, you know, it's probably near enough retail or above retail. I just don't think it's worth it because you can pick up a pair of Spiridons for quite cheap. So you know, I'd probably just rather have a regular pair of Spiridons if I'm honest. But if you can grab them on, you know, cheap or grab them on sale, then I think they're worth it. But it's, you know, like I said, it is a cool sneaker. It does look really cool, and I do like this colorway as well, being brown and blue. It's kind of, you know, an easy colorway to wear, especially during this sort of autumn time. I think they're perfect for that kind of weather. And you know, like I said, I do like the kind of materials on this as well. It's slightly more better than what you'd normally get on a Spiridon, I guess, as well. So with the quality, I think with this one, I think it's going to be a 4. There's like little bits and pieces that I can sort of see on the sneaker that isn't quite there. I've got a little bit of splitting on the midsole that you can sort of see here, which I'm not over enthused by, and I've just noticed that actually. And then, you know, it's fine on this side, but this side obviously looks like it's going to cause problems, so I might need to put glue on there and kind of push it together. I don't know, or whether that's just sort of stains. But you know, overall I think the materials are nice, but they're just not amazing. I think it's good quality, but overall it's fine for what it is. And in terms of the comfort, I'm going to go with the 5. I think Spiridons in general are very comfortable. I think you have to get used to the upper and just sort of wear that in a bit, because of the toe can be a bit kind of restrictive a little bit, you know, especially on this side. But you know, once you sort of wear them in, they feel really nice and really responsive and quite sort of neutral at the same time. So for that reason, I think, you know, it's a 5. In terms of, I suppose, the cost, I think even though these are quite sort of high up in price and hold a little bit of a premium, so for that reason I'll give them a 4. And then that's why overall I think for this one I'd probably go with the 4 as well. I think, you know, it just misses a mark. Like I said, it's just one of those things where I feel like it's, you know, I'd rather wear a normal pair of Spiridons versus these, and that's kind of, you know, how I feel about it. It's not like I say it's a horrible sneaker, but it's just not up there with some of the classics.